Welcome to today's episode of the Success Story series, okay? And in this series, I just interview people who have made it to America and then as international students who are pursuing their master's degrees, PhDs, and what have you, to be able to impact back in their country when they go back. And today I have with me gracious Kajah. And he's not just an international student, he's also a young diplomat. And we are very curious and I'm very interested in why a young diplomat would want to come all the way here to pursue his master's degree. Some people think what I do is brain drain, but I'm just saying that I'm just helping the countries because usually when we come and learn, we go back and we impact. Welcome to my channel, gracious Kajah.
Hi, Rich Love.
Hi.
It's wonderful to be here. I'm so happy. And a very, very good morning, afternoon, wherever you're watching us from, to you guys. You guys make the show, and we are so happy to have you guys watch us. And I'm pleased to be here. May I introduce myself?
Yes, please do.
Okay.
I can't do this introduction, it's too big. Please do.
Yeah, so my name is Gracious Kajah. I am a graduate from Brandeis University and also a graduate from University of Ghana Business School. I majored in public administration. I did a lot of work in international development space, also work with NGOs as well. And I would like to also highlight the Young Diplomat of Ghana journey, which she rightly mentioned. I'm part of the cohort 4 of the Young Diplomat of Ghana. So the Young Diplomat of Ghana is the esteemed institution that has been structured to train the young generation of leaders in the areas of diplomacy, policy advocacy, and to be ambassadors of the SDGs. So the SDGs, as we know, is the Sustainable Development Goals. So basically, that's what the Young Diplomats of Ghana is. It's a one-year program that you go through rigorous training where you're exposed to all these issues and intricacies that has to do with diplomacy and stuff like that. And
Wow.
there is an exciting part of it, which is you get to work with a whole lot of international organizations, IGOs
Wow.
and stuff like that.
Wow.
Like the Australian High Commission, European Commission, Canadian High Commission. You get to interact with GIZ and all those top big sharks in the international development space.
You see?
And then, it gives you a lot of exposure. So we did that, and we're crowning off with a Europe tour. Yeah.
Europe tour, guys.
we did a
That's the
Europe
only
tour.
reason why I want to go into this young diplomacy thing. Because why not? I want to go on a Europe tour.
It's an amazing opportunity. So if you're watching and you're excited, you can just check the website, www.youngdiplomatsofghana.com. You can just check all the information there. And
Wow, guys, this is amazing. So if you want to be part of them, you can check the information and then you can. But most importantly, we just want to know his success story. Why did you come here in the first place? Why did you come to the United States of America to pursue your master's degree? Why not Germany? Why not Canada? Why?
Okay, so I personally have a very interesting story on how I came here in the United States.
Okay.
Personally, I always dreamt to do my master's, but I didn't really have a focus on which country I wanted to do it with. So one day I was just there, and then I was like, okay, this thing has been ongoing. Let me just find a school. So I put, being in the international development space, I have had a lot of experience, and I felt like it was time for me to also have open myself to international dialogue that are taking shape in the 21st century in terms of international policies and stuff like that. So I decided to type best schools in international development, and then Brandeis University popped up as the Hella School being the top 10 schools in social justice in the United States.
Yeah, I know that, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, okay, this is it. And then I just applied to Brandeis University, and then,
Woo, here you are. Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's great. So I know you are from Ghana, right? You came all the way from Ghana. So this channel, basically, what I do is just to encourage people to know that if they want to pursue their master's degree in the United States of America, it's not as hard as they think it is. I try to break that perception before they even start the journey. So tell us about the journey. What challenges did you face? And what can my subscribers and I learn from those challenges?
Okay, so the journey, I'll start with back home being in Ghana. So first you need to set your priorities right, the schools you want to go to, the programs you want to read, and then that helps you to, have a list of what you want to do and the schools that you want to go to. You also have to...
I don't mean to catch you. That's what I'm doing on my series, or my application series.
Yeah.
The kind of schools, the kind of courses, what's going to inform your decision to choose these things.
Yeah.
Continue.
And then the state. The state you want to live in.
Exactly. Which state?
There are perks in each state, and then there are also, there are downsides of other states too. So you want to live in a place where you are, as Black people, you have a space, you are accepted, and you thrive. So yeah. So yeah, you have to do all those stuff first, and then once you decide on a particular school, there are so many ways you can actually apply to a school. You can actually look at yourself and look at your background. So if I'm in the maybe the food system or the food industry or agriculture industry, you can actually write to a professor and introduce yourself. Oh, my name is this. I'm interested in your research areas in this industry, so I want to apply to. Because what I know is that most professors, they have been given slots for to take GA-ships or graduate assistants and all research assistants. So when you go through that route, you have the opportunity to get that too. Another way is to, directly apply whilst you meet the requirements and then put that out. So yeah, that's also another way that you can actually go through. And then the final one, which I also say it's also a route, is that you can also, go through LinkedIn. If you find some Ghanaians who are in that space, you can write to them and then, let them share their experience, and then they can give you some tips. Let me say this. It's not everyone who's going to open up to you, but you can just give it a shot. Some people, will be nice.
Some people will be nice. So, see, he's talking about his journey, but he's not even talking about his journey. He's giving us 3 ways that we can use to come here. Yeah. So these are the 3 ways that he's also given to us. So as we are talking, we are learning at the same time. Exactly. We are not just having a conversation. We are also studying as well. Okay.
Exactly. And then we come to the content bit of the application process. First and foremost, I think that SOP is the fundamental thing in your application. So it has to be very thorough, straight to the point. You have to put all the information out there.
At this juncture, if you have not watched my video on how to write a solid SOP, the one that is winning 100K scholarship, please go and watch.
You need to see that. So your SOP should be very strong. Your opening statements are very, very important. You don't want to be cliche, growing up. What is growing up? It's so cliche. You have to have a quote or start with a powerful statement that over the years or something, and then you veer into talking about your personal experiences and how that shaped into you reading your bachelor's, and then from your bachelor's you went into the market space, you found a problem. Now, after finding the problem, that has now become a pivot for you to want to do a master's in that regard. So then whoever is reading your SOP has the synergy, the flow, and then you have, okay, that's the problem, I want to read the master's, and then I think that's it.
It's okay. This interview is not about your story. It's about how to apply and come to the United States. He has literally taken everything that I have been saying on this channel, summarized it, and given it to us within these few minutes. Yeah. So, did you face any financial challenges? I know we're giving the dollar to CD ratio. It's a lot to fund these applications. I was guiding a couple of people, I was consulting a couple of people, and one person told me, Richie, I cannot even afford the transcript evaluation. When it comes to finances, what advice would you give to us? Okay,
so it's 2 ways. I'm a believer. I'm a faith person. Sometimes preparing is great. You need to prepare. That's what everybody should do. You need to have substantial amounts before you start the application, because you have to pay for things, your application fees, what have you, all those evaluations and stuff. However, I also want to say that if you're a person of faith like me, you can actually take a step, and as and when things unfold, you'll be surprised. People will help you out. Yeah, so I mean, sometimes if you say you want to wait till the very
You have
end,
everything.
you will not be able to get it started.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I think preparation is key. Try and get all the monies you can get, and then you can pay it off. And then also, I also believe that when you start the process and then you tell a friend or tell a family relative that, oh, I'm here on my application, can you please help me? Some people can send you some few money, and then, yeah, you get it done.
That I do believe that you can start and then you can get help like along the way.
Exactly.
So what I say is you usually save, you start the process, like especially when you get everything and it's time to pay, you know, that $500 that you need to hold the spot, you can, you know, now reach out because they know, at least they've seen the action.
Exactly.
They've seen that you're willing to do it and all that. So, so that's about that. Now, moving from Ghana to the United States of America, I know there are so many challenges.
Yeah.
I know,
Oh
guys,
my
it's not
God.
smooth out here. But I keep telling you that we don't do this to scare you, okay? We do it to help you prepare mentally, physically, everything before you come. Tell us challenges and how to solve them, or what your advice would be.
So I had a very peculiar challenge coming here because coming to Massachusetts, I had nobody here. I didn't literally know anybody. Yeah.
You don't know anybody, you can do it.
Yeah, unlike other people who had contacts, like I had zero. So I mean, like everyone was trying to reach out to contacts in Massachusetts, but then it was not really working. So I finally got somebody who was going to host me, but then it was a no-show. Yeah, it was a no-show. So I actually had to come to the United States. I didn't know I was going to sleep. And it was the middle of the blizzard. Can you imagine?
What?
It was in the middle
of
the
no. Oh my gosh.
Like, it was so crazy. I remember
guys.
I was so like, what's going on? But then you know what? Faith kept me alive because I'm like, I mean, I've been able to pass through Ghana.
Faithful. Yay! People of faith.
Yeah, I've been able to pass through Ghana and come here, so that is not really much of a problem. Because, then I looked forward to booking a hotel. I mean, but this is a tip I want to share. It's very, our culture in Ghana, we have this culture of not asking for things.
Yeah.
And not, like, speaking up when you are going through challenges and stuff like that. We tend to like, hey, I mean, we've been shut down from our professors. Don't talk, hey, you are scared of them. But that is not the culture here.
Yeah.
You always have to speak up. Always have to speak up. So one thing I did was I reached out to my school, let them know that this was a situation.
If you have a good school.
If you have a good school. So I reached out to them and I told them this was the situation. And thank you. So I want to use the video to thank the Brandeis staff. Like, they were so amazing. Hella. I don't want to mention names because I don't want to sound a bit some way, but
we are really selling this school, guys, because the school is good.
They were really great in my integration process, and I ended up in a hotel. Yeah, I stayed in a hotel for a couple of I won't mention the number.
I'm happy for you. I should have done it too.
They picked me up from the airport as well, and I mean, for some time I had a ride. I was picking up from the hotel to school and back. So it was quite a very good process until I was able to find an apartment and I moved into. So yeah, that was really great. So I believe that anywhere you're going, speak up. Let them know that this is a challenge. Don't feel afraid or don't feel ashamed. I think that's what we have in Ghana. But when you speak up and you tell them your problem, I'm very certain that you get the help that you need.
Exactly. This is a very good tip. And I also know some schools that even if they'll not put you in a hotel, like they'll give you a host family.
Exactly.
So the host family will come and pick you from the airport, put you in their house, host you a bit before you find your feet. This is to tell you like the American culture. Like, it's not as bad as they paint it in the news and all that. They are pretty welcoming, especially if you're coming here for like school and stuff like that. Okay, so that's about it when it comes to that. Now let's talk about dating. Now the thing about dating as an international student is, watch out for our video on the unfiltered truth as an international student. The thing is that when we try, they are thinking that we are doing this for other things. So what has it been? Because dating as an international student, I know is another challenge altogether.
Yeah.
Then right after that, you're going to give us your final words and you're going to wrap it up.
Okay. So dating scene. I mean, you've rightly mentioned that people feel like you have ulterior motives with them. But I feel like you just have to be a genuine person, first of
True.
all, and then actually find out, because we have people all around, beautiful women, African, African, white.
Shout out to your babe.
Yeah, so we have like all types of women here. I mean, it's a
She's trying to say it's spicy. You have different tastes, you know?
Yeah, we have
different tastes.
yeah.
White, Asian,
Yeah.
you have Spanish, you have, you know, it's not like Ghana, like only Africans.
Yeah, so I mean, you have different types of women here, and then you decide, you meet people. I mean, I think one of the best tip I can give is that, not that I use them, but
Dating tips, guys. Dating tips for international students.
Yeah, I think you just have to be an open person. I think one of the things I realized about international students is that when we come, we want to seclude ourselves as a group.
True.
So I feel like you just have to open yourself up, meet new people, go for coffee dates, you know. I mean, get to know a lot of people.
Coffee dates, then. Well, we say, what is coffee dates?
Oh, you know.
We want to eat a bar and a goosey.
Yeah, something very light. Just sit down, can sit in the park, walk, and then talk and get to know them. And then, I mean, whoever it is, your love. Everyone deserves love.
Hey, this is not date rush.
So someone loves finds you at your best or your worst. So yeah, so
True.
I think the dating thing is quite huge. Yeah. But then again, you have to just keep your eye open, and then to know that you are looking for specific things in your partner. If it's faith, if it's intellectuality, if it's any other thing that you want to look out for, just look out for. You find the person.
Yeah. So guys, if you have any questions, just drop them in the comment section below, and we are going to answer them. Okay.
Absolutely.
Any challenges, anything you are going through that you want us to address, how to find accommodation, even though I have videos on them, just put it there. And if you're enjoying this video, you can just put more interviews. I want more interviews down there, and I'm going to fish out these people, and we are going to have a great time with them. Okay. Now, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe as well. Gracious is going to give us his final words, okay? And if you want a live stream with Gracious, just say live stream. I'm going to find a way to get him, and we are going to be online, and we are going to answer questions. Any question regarding your international master's degree process, your study abroad process, we will be here to answer it. Gracious, you've been here, you've gone through your master's degree successfully. By God's grace, you are working beautifully.
Yeah.
And now, give us your final words of encouragement for any of you out there who actually want to pursue this journey.
Yeah. Final words.
Yeah.
I'll keep it brief.
Very.
So all I want to say is that it's a very fulfilling process, honestly, from start to end, from your application process to getting the visa. I mean, it's like a rewarding feeling, you know. And then I'm sure we'll talk about all that another time, having been through that journey. All I want to say is that if you want to do something, just go for it. I mean, a lot of people want to say, I don't have a brother in the US, I don't have an uncle. No, you don't need anyone. And also the application process too, some people are so lazy. I think the problem is that the laziness is that they feel like it's too much work. But it's actually a learning curve for you. So just go through the process. And I mean, like she rightly said, I'm open to questions and all that, how you can go through the process. And I wish everyone the best of luck in that journey. And yeah.
We are waiting for you here. Please come, okay? Thank you for having us, and thank you for spending your time with us. We'll see you again next time with another success interview on this channel. I have been your girl, and I'll always be your girl, Dr. Rich Love, together with Kajah. We say bye.